Hello there and welcome back to a brand new video. So this week I basically thought, how about I get my sketchbook out and actually do some sketching. I don't really make enough time to sketch at the moment. I definitely prioritise actual work projects, which is what you're supposed to do, but also you got to remember to have fun and get out your sketchbook every now and again and kind of have a little doodle and just draw for fun, which is exactly why I decided to follow this career path. So yesterday morning when I went into my studio nice and early, that is exactly what I did. I got my sketchbook and did some sketching. For this little sketching session, I decided to draw some little sketches of Cornwall. So I'm actually going to Cornwall in a few weeks' time. Anyway, later this month. And I thought it'd be a nice opportunity to have a little look online and find some little bits of inspiration, but obviously not copying the photos exactly, although of course it's only for like sketching purposes and not like a full proper piece of work. But I just sat and sketched out some Cornwall scenes because I've never been before, and me and my friend are off, like I said, later this month, and I thought might be a good idea to kind of see what kind of colours they are, so and what kind of things I could go see, because I actually need to sit and plan the trip a little bit so we have a rough idea of what we can do there and really make the most out of our time, because from the north of England it is quite a way down and a lot of travelling, so we really want to make the best use of our time there because we've gone to the effort of getting there in the first place. So yeah, I just sat and sketched in my studio using pictures online, although soon it'll be the real thing, and looked at some nice little places. So it was kind of like doing research for my holiday and making a little travel itinerary, I guess, but I've not done that yet. And I really loved sitting there and just sketching the views. So it's kind of like travelling but virtually through laptop screen and your sketchbook, if you like. When I was looking online at different images of Cornwall of various areas, there's a couple of pictures that included bunting in the pictures, so I thought that'd be quite fun to incorporate into, like, add in into the sketchbook spread. So that's exactly what I did. And obviously Cornwall, you think of the sea and the fishing boats, so I drew some fishing boats, which I really love to draw anyway. And then, of course, I did some seascapes and some flowers. Once I kind of settled on what exactly I wanted to draw, I broke up the sketchbook page into sections and drew the different, sketched the little scenes in and then added all of the colour. I mainly used my watercolour paints and some crayons and pencils to fill the spread up. I try not to use alcohol markers too much in my sketchbook pages because they do bleed through the page, which kind of ruins it for the next drawing. So I only use a tiny bit for the green plant at the bottom of the main image, so it isn't too bad. I'd say the only thing that I don't particularly like about this sketchbook spread is the bunting. Well, I do like the bunting, but I kind of regretted going in with a really thick black line. If I was to do it again, I'd definitely maybe just choose a darker pencil to do the line for the bunting and maybe not even outline the bunting flags. I'm not a fan of how it stands out a bit too much. Whereas in contrast, I really like the fishing boat that I drew. That was a lot of fun to do. And the big beach scene, I don't know if it looks a bit flat compared to the bunting, but I do like the colours, and it was nice not to use a lot of pen and fine liner for once. I definitely need to remind myself that sketchbooks are a place to experiment in and have a lot of fun without really caring about the output, because obviously this is why sketchbooking is a thing. So it's not a final piece, it doesn't have to be perfect, you don't have to worry about making it into a greeting card collection or a new print or anything like that, which I'm actually hoping to do soon. So maybe after the Cornwall trip, because I'm wanting to do a new collection of cards from Cornwall, which I'll talk about in a little minute, when I'm getting my new order of cards in, because I'm also running quite low on some other greeting cards, so I need to get some of those back in stock, like the most popular ones, like the Sea Pinks one, and things like that, and a restock of the Hebridean Macca ones, because that's like my most popular one ever, and it's definitely running low at the minute when I look at my stock tracker. But I'm also wanting to do prints, so this may be take a couple of months to happen, but there's a few pieces of my artwork which I'd like to see in a print format, so I'm definitely going to be looking into that. I've tried doing prints once before, but that was a couple of years ago, and I feel like my artwork is so much better than my first ever attempts. So I'm really excited to make some of my artwork available on prints as well as greeting cards, because I do get asked sometimes about prints, and it'd be nice to have them there to offer to people. So I'm definitely going to be looking into that and hopefully getting them up on my Etsy shop and stuff. But yeah, back to the Cornwall greeting card collection. So even though I booked going to Cornwall because I wanted to go and visit the area and see what it's all about, I definitely booked it because I wanted to go and explore it with my art business, art career in mind. Obviously, I paint a lot of landscapes and I'm very lucky to live right next to Lake District, but Cornwall is also a very popular place and I've never been, so I thought it'd be great to go down, take some pictures, do a lot of sketching on location, because that's the best kind of sketching you can ever do, and then come back into my studio and create maybe 2 to 4 final finished pieces of the landscapes there that have inspired me, and then make that into a range of greeting cards and prints, hopefully. So that means when I come back from Cornwall, I'm going to be working non-stop on this new range, so I'll make sure to document the journey so you can see me getting the inspiration, taking it back to my studio, and then putting in the new card order and the prints orders, and then that all arriving and like unboxing the products together, and then putting the greeting cards together, because the manufacturer like the printers I order from, they do a great job, but they all arrive, of course, like you got to assemble them yourself. So when you get like an order of like 1,000 cards, which is what I do quite often, you've got to work to fold them and put the envelope in and then put them in like a cellophane wrap thing yourself, and it takes a lot of time, and obviously it's quite a mindless activity, but it's got to be done. So I'm going to be taking you through the whole entire process if you're interested in that. Maybe not for a few weeks because I'm not going away for a little bit, and of course for me to start this new collection of artwork, we're going to have to go to the place first, which makes sense. Going back to the big landscape, it was really nice not to rely on pen and fine liner too much, which is why I'm a bit annoyed about the bunting, although the boat, which I really like, does use fine liner, but it does it in quite a nice and subtle way, I think, in my opinion. I definitely should do more virtual travel in my sketchbook, if that makes any sense, because it's really fun to, even if you've never been to the place, to try and replicate it in your sketchbook. And I think I've seen a lot of people, like illustrators and artists, use Google Maps. They kind of just drop the little Google man thing into any country, location, and draw what they can see, and I think that sounds really cool, and also a lot cheaper than actually travelling yourself, I guess. But yeah. This now brings us to the very end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed following along with my little sketchbook pages. I feel like because I'm trying to do videos weekly, it's definitely getting a lot to think of new interesting ideas every week. Sometimes I feel like it comes to the end of the week and I'm like, I've got no video. I have no idea what to do, and I don't want it to be too boring or repetitive for you, so I'm really trying my best. But it's definitely hard, not even to produce a video every week, but to think of something interesting that you might like to see. So of course I'm open to any suggestions of things you might like to see, but I feel like I've got a few exciting plans coming up which are art related, as I've spoken to you about for most of this video, and I'm definitely going to be documenting that a bit more, so there should be some more exciting things coming soon. But I feel like when I started posting these videos, I had quite a few things that I had filmed in advance for me to like release and edit together to show you, and they're a bit more exciting, like being on Landscape Artist of the Year or going to Australia. So they're very exciting things and definitely not boring and repetitive, whereas just drawing in my studio every day, I don't know if you want to watch that, but I guess you do, because it is very art related, which is what this channel is all about. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this week's video. Like I said, if you've got any suggestions of anything you'd like to see, I'd love to hear from you. But for now, I will see you next week. Goodbye.